Now, what we're going to work on in this video is finding the radius and center of a circle. So if we start with with the very basic circle equation, this is the equation of a circle whose center is 0, 0, the origin, and has a radius of distance r. Now, what the radius is the distance from the center to any point on the circle. So we would call this distance here the radius. Now in some problems they'll use the word diameter. What diameter is the distance from one side of the circle through the center to the other side. In this case, the radius is equal to 5, and we can find that by just counting boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The diameter is always twice the radius because it's basically the radius plus the radius. So the diameter in this case is equal to 10. So if we were to find the equation of this circle, we would use x squared plus y squared, and then we would just plug in whatever our radius is. And if we clean this up, we get 25. So if someone ever gave you the diameter, in order to find the radius, you just divide it by 2 and then plug it into this formula. Okay. Now, let's go with slightly harder problems. If we had a circle whose center is not the origin, this is the equation of the circle that we would use. So the center of the circle would be h and k. Now, in order for us to find the equation that has radius 5 or diameter 10, remember, diameter is always twice radius, and the center 3, -5, what we would do is we would just plug in these values into the circle formula or the circle equation. So we would say this is R, this is H, and then this is K. So this is a plug and chug problem. Let's plug in K. And then we would clean this up slightly. Now, tradition holds that you do not foil these. If you foil them, it's hard for someone else to recognize that you're talking about a circle. Now, this problem is quite a bit more difficult than the previous problem we had because what they have given us does not resemble the circle equation at all. So what we want to do is we want to look at this x squared minus 4x and somehow make it look like this. In the same way, we want to take this y squared plus 2y and somehow make it look like this. Now in the past, we were able to do that by completing the square. And if we sort of go back to that section where we completed the square, we remember that we had this equation where x squared plus bx plus b divided by 2 squared is equal to x plus b divided by 2 squared. So what we want to do is we want to make this look like that, where b is equal to -4 and -4 inside there. In the same way, we want this to have this form where we need to put b is equal to 2. So before we do that, let's clear the decks. Let's first get rid of this 14 and bring it to the right side. So I'm going to add 14 to both sides. so it ends up on the right side. Now, what I want to do is I want this to look like that. So in this case, b is equal to -4, so I need to add -4 divided by 2 squared to both sides. Okay. Same thing here, I want this to look like that. So I've had the square, I have the y, the b is equal to 2, so I want to add 2 divided by 2 squared. So this looks like that. The only difference is that I have a 2 here instead of the b, and I have a 2 there instead of the b. And I'm going to add this to both sides. So we balance the equation. Okay, now, we can see from this relationship that that part right there will be equal to this. What we do is we take whatever's on the inside and we put it over here. That's why if the b, I'm sorry, this should be 2. That why if the b is negative, you want to make sure that that's negative, so then that's negative. Now over here, we're going to do the same thing. And whatever value is inside of the parentheses, we're going to put it over here. Equal to 14 plus 4 plus 1. Now let me make this a little prettier. Okay. Now in order to find the center and the radius, what we're going to do is we will pattern match. So let's get our original equation of the circle. And what we're saying is that r squared is equal to 19 minus k is equal to 1 and minus h is equal to minus 2. So we can see that minus h is equal to minus 2, so h will be equal to 2. Minus k is equal to 1, so we can see that k is equal to -1. And we can see that r squared is equal to 19, and if we square root both sides, now we're not going to square root plus or minus because radius is a distance, and whenever we talk about distances, we talk about positive numbers. Okay, so my center is going to be my h and k, and my radius is going to be, well, I just grab it from here. So let me pause it, go ahead and pause this video and see if you can do this problem. Okay, now that you've tried this problem, let's give it a shot. So the first thing we want to do is we want to clean things up. We want to get rid of that 20 and bring it to the right side. So we'll add both sides by 20. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to add 8 divided by 2 squared to both sides. Okay. Now this side we don't have to square at all, it's done. So when we complete the square on this side, we'll get x, okay, and that's what you'll always get. And whatever value is on the inside of these parentheses, you will put there. Okay. Now, in terms of this y squared, you can either just say that k is going to equal to 0, but if you don't believe it, you can always just do this. Y minus 0 is equal to y squared, is equal to y. I'm sorry, y minus 0 squared is equal to y squared. This is equal to that. You don't have to make this move, but you can if it helps to remind you that the k will just be 0 if there's nothing else next to the y squared. Now this will be equal to 20 plus 16. So now I get plus 4 squared plus y minus 0 squared is equal to 36. So if we remember, this right here is going to be equal to minus h when we do the pattern matching. This right here will be equal to the minus k if we do the pattern matching. And this right here will be equal to r squared if we do the pattern matching. So if I have minus h is equal to 4, h is equal to negative 4. If I have negative k is equal to 0, then k will be equal to 0. And if r squared is equal to 36, when I square root both sides, I'll get r is equal to 6. So my center is negative 4 comma 0, and my radius is 6. So if you found this video helpful, please like the video and subscribe to this channel so other people can find it. Thank you.